The numbers are in, and total crimes were up 10% in the River City, according to the Peoria Police Department's annual report. That report outlines incidents between 2023 and 2024. The number of murders was down from 21 to 14%, and shooting incidents also dropped by 28%, going from 137 victims to 90, while property crimes like burglary and arson made up more than half of the number of crimes. The Peoria County State's Attorney's Office wants to make some changes based on an increase in domestic violence and youth crime. More than 100 minors faced weapons charges in 2024. That's about a dozen more than 2025. The number of minors tried as adults nearly doubled as well. Jody Hoos, Peoria County State's Attorney, wants to start a treatment court to keep kids out of trouble. As for domestic violence, both investigations and convictions were up by around 60%. The Victims Advocate Office was busy helping more than 1,000 survivors, which is a big jump from 2023. You can read the full report on our website, 25newsnow.com.